this episode of TFLtruck Torture Test, we're going from the Arctic climates of the Rocky Mountains
to the deserts of Nevada. This is the road to Vegas the hard way.
And of course, we've got the Ram Rebel Rouser project truck with Shell Rotella gas truck engine oil. And in this episode, we're gonna show you a recap of what happened over the last 6 months of truck torture.
And we're gonna show you deep down into the bowels of the engine after 8,000 plus miles of abuse. Andre, tell me about the first episode.
Well, it started about 6 months ago where Roman and I towed maximum trailer weight up the iGauntlet World's Toughest Towing Test. Check it out.
This is a torture test, Andre.
Yeah.
This is how you torture test a truck.
The iGauntlet is the world's toughest towing test for two big reasons. Elevation. We're going to over 11,000 feet, and of course it's the incline, 7% grade.
That is as steep as it gets in the entire country.
And the most interesting part I'm curious about is how this oil performs.
The engine and the oil itself are designed to see these stresses.
On this trip, we're going from Boulder, Colorado, our headquarters, to Las Vegas for SEMA 2019.
That's right. But in episode 2, weren't you in this area?
Yes, it was August, it was middle of summer, and Roman and I were on Hell's Revenge in Moab.
Now, driver.
Okay, that got a little...
Keep moving.
I got a little too wheelie.
There it is!
Oh, just go. Let the damage be done.
The temperature keeps climbing. It's now 110 degrees outside.
All right, Andre, we're about to basically drive up the side of a mountain.
Okay, sure.
Are you okay with that?
I trust you.
Okay, good.
I know you're a good off-roader, and
Thank you.
you've done this before. Nathan, where are we?
We're near Upper Kents Lake by Beaver, Utah.
Well, we're near the mountaintop. But this is nothing that compares to Mount Evans, the highest auto road in the country.
That's right, and we took that baby there and we tortured it. Yeah, we've got 1,000 pounds of green wood to put into this poor truck.
Let's get it loaded.
And we are going up the highest road in the land.
Yep.
And if that ain't torture testing, Andre, I don't know what is. I get that feeling inside my tummy, you know? When you're like, oh God, this is not gonna end well.
This is Vegas.
Viva la Vegas, baby!
Yep, it was a fairly hard way. Lots of off-roading, lots of bouncing.
A lot of it, but you know what? This truck did great, and it's gorgeous in Vegas right now. Beautiful weather.
Yes, and the truck is going into SEMA show, which is an industry show, and it's going to be pretty incredible. I'm excited about that. And remember, this is not everything we've done with this truck. Last episode, on episode 4, we towed a trailer from Portland to our headquarters in Boulder.
That was fantastic.
Well, we picked the right weekend to do this. We're doing over 2,300 miles in 4 days, and today it's been raining non-stop. You can barely see. It's not going to help our fuel economy at all because we're going into the rain, plowing through standing water on the highway. It's been a long day. It's been torturous. 14 hours. All right, let's go.
Live in Las Vegas.
We made it to Vegas. This is our final oil sample. We already pulled 4 samples, 1 for each episode, and we'll send it to POLARIS Laboratories for evaluation and testing, and then give you the results in this video as well. Oh yeah, here we go. And we're not done yet. This truck after SEMA is going to Texas. Going on stage. Hey dude.
Hey.
From their well-known YouTube channel, we have Fast Lane Truck. Please help me welcome Andre Smirnoff.
Thank you, Jeff.
How you doing, Andre?
I watch your videos all the time.
All right, so the SEMA show is over. It's Friday night. All the vehicles are heading out. But before I head out to Texas to look inside the engine, I gotta change the oil. It's been about 8,000 miles almost. Gotta go. Big thanks to Service Manager Ben, of course JJ for changing the oil, doing it quickly and very professionally. Let me show you, I got 100%. Oh yeah, and now I can make my trek of 1,400 miles approximately to College Station, Texas to actually look inside the engine. Cue up the music, road trip, let's go.
Head west toward North Gibson Road.
Roll up my window, don't know where I'm bound. Driving by the river, there's a hole in the ground. Hand-me-down t-shirt, slicking on my back. Heading for the fall. Had to get up to cross.
It's been a long road, literally about 5 months and just under 10,000 miles, but I'm here in Texas and we're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna look inside the engine and see exactly what's going on. And this is a very unique look. We don't do this very often. In fact, this is the first time we're looking inside a HEMI V8. So you're gonna be putting the camera inside each cylinder.
Yes, so
and then taking some pictures.
yes, sure. Yeah, so right now what I'm trying to do is the spark plugs on this unit are out. So now I'm going to insert my borescope camera probe inside the cylinder and see if what's the condition of carbon deposits and what's the condition of a liner, if there is any liner scoring or any wear.
There it is, number 6, huh?
Yeah, that's the number 6 piston crown.
If the engine is working perfect, then that cross hatching I was just talking about, those are like little burrows for the oil to sit in, little troughs. So if the system is working like it should, then as the piston moves up and down, the rings should basically have a little bit of oil that they ride up all the way to the top of the cylinder, and then they basically draw that oil back down. They almost like scrape the sides of it to bring it down.
That's a cross hatch.
There you go.
Ha!
That's what we wanted to see.
Hold
There
on.
you go. That's the one.
That's the cylinder wall.
That's the
Yep.
cylinder wall. That's the cross hatching. Right. So in theory, you need that because that oil actually provides the final bit of seal between when that combustion event happens and it pushes the actual piston down. That oil provides the seal that keeps that from just blowing by, into the engine itself. Mm-hmm. Right. So the better that seal is, the more power you actually transfer from the combustion event to actually move the piston itself.
But as you can see here, there are 2 spark plugs per cylinder. We're gonna get to look at the spark plugs as well. And of course, the coils look like this. This is just for 1 cylinder. So you lined up the spark plugs. This is just the passenger side bank.
Passenger side bank.
And how does it look like to you?
The spark plugs look super great after being in almost I'll say 20,000 miles.
Yeah.
It looks super great.
On this side, passenger side, this is number 2 cylinder, number 4, 6, and 8. When the engine is in MDS mode, multi-displacement system mode, according to FCA, which is basically cylinder deactivation, cylinders 4 and 6 are inactive. And we're not looking at the driver's side bank of cylinders because it's really crowded on this side of the engine.
What's a healthy oil? It's an oil that is in the right viscosity grade, so it's still in the viscosity grade that was reported in the engine. How's the metal content of the oil? The engine's made of iron, it's made of chrome and made of copper and all these things. Are those pieces wearing out and are they ending up in the oil?
So iron count was at about 30 parts per million.
Yep.
And slowly growing. And then copper is going up a little bit to about 55 parts per million.
Yeah.
How does it stack up?
We do always expect to see some slow growth of iron in the oil. It's going to be a constant
And
thing.
it's a brand new engine.
And it's a brand new engine. So there's always going to be some small rate of increase of the iron.
Yeah.
And the rate is very constant. We don't see any weird exponential
lines.
increases or anything like that. So that says the engine is just running along at a nice rate. It's not really producing a lot of iron. There's some terms that you may never have heard, something called TBN. TBN is total base number. It's a measurement of literally the amount of basic material in the oil itself. You need base because when the fuel's burned, so when that combustion event happens, right, you actually burn the fuel, but in that burning, you have this oxidation process and you actually produce some acids. Right, so there's nitrogen in the air, there's a little sulfur in the fuel, and those things turn into acids like nitric acid, sulfuric acid.
Okay.
Those acids actually get washed down into the oil.
Okay.
So I need base in the oil to neutralize them. So that's why I need TBN, total base number. I need a basic content in the oil. On the other side of that, I have total acid number.
Okay.
Total acid number is the opposite. It's the amount of acid in the oil. So if the oil is doing a good job of protecting the engine and there's enough base, then that total acid number stays down. It means we're controlling the acid that's actually in the oil.
Okay. Otherwise, what is the acid doing to the engine?
It does exactly what it did when you were in high school. You put a drop of acid on the metal and it eats away at the metal.
Okay.
That's literally what it does.
The acid, the TAN, was at about 2, and the base was coming down to 3.
Yep. And so this is where we get to talk about something that has always been a big sticking point in the industry. When do I change the oil? What is TBN? What is TAN? When are those numbers bad? That makes me want to change the oil. And it's because those are very easy things to measure. It's very easy to measure TBN. It's very easy to measure TAN. As the TBN comes down, because the oil starts with a sort of a bundle of base, as that starts to come down, we know that the TAN's going to slowly ramp up. And so what we are kind of looking for is there a point where the two touch? That point is what we call the crossover. Okay. And so what we try to measure here is what we're trying to see is, did the TBN come down to where the TAN crossed over at any point while we were doing these torture tests? And the answer is no. So if the oil is doing a good job of protecting the engine and there's enough base, then that total acid number stays down. It means we're controlling the acid that's actually in the oil.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Andre.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time, man. And again, thanks for taking us this far in the torture testing series.
Heck yeah. Now it's back home, another 1,200 miles.
Yeah. For you, man. Sorry, not for me.
And if you want to know more about this Ram Rebel project truck, everything that went wrong and everything that went right with it, check out the video in the bottom right. It's a 1-year long-term update. And of course, huge thanks to the Shell Rotella team for making this torture test series possible.